You've seen those videos, right? Those incredibly satisfying car restorations where a rusty heap gets turned into a showroom masterpiece. And you probably thought, yeah, I could never do that. The skill, the garage, the tools, the money, it's a huge barrier. But what if I told you there's a new, frankly unbelievable way to create these same videos without ever touching a single wrench? Today, we're going to break down exactly how it's being done.
So, is it really possible? Can you restore a classic car without a garage, without tools, without the actual car? According to this wild new workflow, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. We are talking about a process that completely swaps out a physical workshop for an AI and a good idea. And it's not science fiction. This is happening right now. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. Look at the contrast. On one side, you have the traditional way. Massive investment in physical stuff, years of learning a trade. And on the other side, the AI method. All those barriers, just gone. The only thing you really need to bring to the table now is your own creativity. Okay, so here's the game plan for breaking this down. We're going to start with the main idea, the premise. Then we'll get into the weeds of how you craft the story and generate the video. We'll take a quick but important detour into how you can make money from this, then cover how to assemble the final product, and finally zoom out to see what this means for the future of, well, everything. So let's dive right in. The big idea here. At its core, this whole thing is about using AI to mimic a super complex, super expensive physical process. It's about creating a story that looks and feels so real, you'd never know it was generated by a machine. And this quote from the source material, wow, it just nails it. The goal here isn't just to make some little 30-second clip. No, the ambition is to create a full 15-minute, totally engaging video that can go head-to-head with the real thing on YouTube. We're talking about tapping into a massively popular niche that, until now, was totally locked off for most people. When you strip it all down, the entire process is really just these four main stages. First, you pick your dream car. Then, you basically write the story for the AI, scene by scene. Third, you let the AI do its magic and create the visuals. And finally, you just stitch it all together. It's like a digital assembly line. All right, let's get into the first really critical step, telling the AI what you want it to make. This is where you stop being a mechanic and start being a director. You're not filming with a camera, you're writing the movie one scene at a time. So the first tool you're going to fire up is Google's AI Studio, and specifically, you're using the Gemini model. Its whole job is to take your simple idea and blow it up into a super detailed step-by-step script that another AI can actually understand and turn into a video. And here's how that works. First, you give the AI some ground rules. They call it a system instruction to keep its writing on track. Then, you give it your big idea. From there, Gemini does all the heavy lifting. It spits out a detailed shot list, which then gets formatted into something called JSON, which is just a simple, organized language that the next AI can read no problem. And get this, the starting point can be this simple. You don't need some huge, complex script. An evocative little one-liner like this is all the AI needs to build an entire story, from pulling a rusted-out frame from the muck all the way to that final, gleaming, polished reveal. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so you've got your script written out in perfect computerese. Now comes the really cool part, turning all that text into actual moving video clips. This is where we go from being the writer to being the cinematographer. You take that clean JSON script we just made, and you feed it into a super powerful text-to-video generator. The one used in this workflow is Google's Veo 3.1. This is an AI that was built specifically to create high-quality, pretty realistic video clips based on nothing but text prompts. And actually doing this is way easier than you'd think. It's literally just copy and paste. You take a scene description from your script, you paste it in, you pick your aspect ratio, wide for YouTube or vertical for shorts, and you hit generate. Then you just do it again for the next scene and the next, building up your movie one little piece at a time. Okay, hold on. Before we stitch this all together, let's talk about the big question. How do you actually make money doing this? I mean, that's the goal for a lot of people, right? Well, the source material points to a whole new ecosystem of platforms popping up just for this kind of content. And one of the examples given is a platform called FanView. Think of it like a social network designed from the ground up for creators, where you can make money directly from your fans through subscriptions, whether your content is AI generated or not. And the key thing here is that this kind of platform is built for the AI creator. It gives you the tools for direct monetization, lets you interact with your fans using AI-powered messaging, and gives you all the data to see who's watching. It's the whole package for this new wave of influencers.
And just to put a number on it, creators can set their own price, but the minimum subscription starts at just $4 a month. So it's a very direct line from creating something with AI to actually earning a living from it. All right, so with that monetization idea in our back pocket, let's get back to building our video.
All right, we have all our raw clips. The AI has done its job. Now it's time for post-production. This is where we take all those little pieces and bring them together to create one seamless, professional-looking video.
So you take all those short, AI-generated clips, and you just drop them into a video editor. The source mentions using the one built into Google Vids, which makes sense since the other tools are also from Google. This is where those separate shots finally become a single coherent story.
And the last few steps will be super familiar to anyone who's ever edited a video. You just drag the clips into the right order, add some nice transitions so it doesn't feel choppy, put down some background music to set the mood, add any text you need, and then boom, you export the whole thing as an MP4 file, ready to go viral. Okay, so we've walked through how to do it, but let's zoom out. What does this all mean? This whole method is more than just a clever workaround. It's a sign of a massive shift in what it even means to be a creator.
And this is the question that really changes everything. When a hobby that used to require a garage packed with tools and decades of skill can now be done with just a laptop, what does that do to the content world? What does that do to our idea of what skill even is?
So here's what you really need to take away from all this. First, entire new areas of content are now open to anyone with a good idea. Second, the most valuable skill isn't welding anymore, it's writing a really good prompt. Third, that line between making something with your hands and making it on a computer is getting blurrier by the day. And that forces us to ask some tough new questions about authenticity. I mean, if the final video is just as satisfying to watch, does it matter that it wasn't real? And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. A car restoration is just the beginning, right? When the garage, the film set, the painter's studio, when they all just live on a hard drive as software, the whole concept of hands-on skill gets completely rewritten. The new frontier isn't about mastering tools anymore. It's about mastering ideas. So the only question left is, what are we going to build next?